Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of the Spark.
Since 1964, Memphis Theological Seminary has worked to equip men and women of all races and faiths with the spark to do ministry for the real world. We're grateful to serve our community and proud to support WKNO.
Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance has been serving the Mid-South since 1954. We've always focused on supporting our community and believed in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb & Pitts is proud to be a presenting sponsor of the Spark.
Additional funding for the Spark is provided by Christian Brothers University, by Meriton, by YX Genomics, and by SERVES.
This month on The Spark, our theme is Stories of Success. We'll learn more about a nonprofit providing vision care and free tax preparation services to families in need, an organization providing an education, therapy, and support for Mid-South families and children who have developmental disabilities, and a Memphis-based video production company helping businesses and nonprofits capture and promote their stories. We'll also share a special moment from our Spark Awards 2016. Ever been excited by a new idea? Inspired by watching someone lead by example? When we talk about creating change, we start by sharing the stories of everyday heroes making a difference in their own way so we can learn and do the same. This truth is the power behind this show, which is focused on business and community leaders who are leading by example to give back, fuel change, and create new opportunities for the Mid-South. I'm Jeremy Park, and this is The Spark. They're a nonprofit providing vision care and free tax preparation services to families in need right here in the Mid-South. I'm here with the Tennessee State Director for Impact America Tennessee, Kara Hanlon. And let's start out with Impact America overall nationwide, and then we'll talk about Tennessee. So give us a little bit of history for Impact America nationwide.
All right, so Impact America nationwide was actually founded as Impact Alabama back in 2004 by our founder, Stephen Black. So since that time, we saw that the needs that we saw in Alabama for vision screenings and for free tax preparation services were needs that were also faced in other states. So since our founding in Alabama, we've been able to expand to Memphis, Tennessee, Greenville, South Carolina, and Tallahassee, Florida.
And you kind of alluded to the two focus areas, and obviously that was a little bit part of the teaser, but the way you're doing it is very unique. So let's talk about vision. We'll start there. So the vision screenings. Talk about working with volunteers, especially college students, and then how the vision screenings take place.
Our vision initiative called Focus First was founded because optometrists will tell us that the crucial period to diagnose a vision problem is between the ages of 2 and 4, because when you catch it that early, you're actually able to correct some of those vision problems. So we are incredibly fortunate to be able to work with some outstanding volunteers from local colleges and really anyone who's interested in going into daycares, Head Start programs, and other pre-Ks with us.
Because that's what's unique, is that you go straight to the daycares, and you're talking thousands and thousands of kids, and you're bringing in the equipment, you're training the volunteers, but you're going in to the actual geographical places. So in other words, they're not having to go where transportation's an issue. You're going straight to them into these daycares with the young kids, and you're testing the vision.
Absolutely. So that's really the idea behind it. We use a spot camera, which can actually detect a vision problem within about 10 seconds. So we figure, we have the time, the energy, the resources to go in and do these vision screenings. So really just bringing that directly to the students who are affected. And because of that model, we've been able to screen over 14,000 kids in the fall of 2016 alone.
And the other thing is you have the relationships and the network. So for those that you find some problem areas, you can then make sure that corrective action is taking place too, correct?
That's exactly right. So we know that about between 11 and 12% of students will fail that initial vision screening. And so for those students, we're able to connect them with free follow-up care. So here in Memphis, we're very fortunate to work with the Southern College of Optometry.
Nice. And then switch that over to tax preparation. Once again, being able to leverage volunteers, but to work with families who in many cases can't afford to have a professional, but you're helping them to not only find reimbursements and refunds, but tax credits. I mean, really stepping in and helping these families.
Absolutely. We know that the average paid tax preparer charges about $400 to do a very simple tax return. And oftentimes that paid preparer doesn't even have a license, isn't certified by the IRS to be providing these services. And so that's where that direct intervention is really necessary, because $400 is a lot of money. You know, when we're talking about, you know, families who are living paycheck to paycheck. So that earned income tax credit that they receive is so incredibly, really fundamental to funding, you know, their children's books, the next grocery bill, all these things. And so we're very fortunate, again, to work with incredible volunteers from Rhodes College, where they've actually founded a course, a service learning course, where students, about 60 students from Rhodes will come in and serve at our tax sites and also apply their knowledge of income inequality and taxes that they're learning in the classroom as well. So Rhodes College, the University of Memphis, Professor De La Vega has sent over her U of M social work students to help out, which is a great experience for them as well. And also working with Christian Brothers University and St. Mary's Episcopal School. Well,
I think that's what's really cool is, you know, from obviously the cost perspective of keeping the cost down, but being able to leverage these volunteers who you're training, you're equipping them, they're getting real world experience. They're also too working with these families. So you're connecting our community in a very real way where they're sitting down together saying, hey, I want to help you. So when you talk about bridging a lot of gaps, not only with socioeconomic levels, but just, you know, communication and race relations, everything, that plays a big part of this healing and just working together.
Absolutely. We definitely see it as a catalyst for communication, because it really is such an intimate experience to be able to sit down and talk with someone one-on-one throughout the course of an hour. You know, you're not just looking at their financials, but really developing a better understanding of someone's life and building trust where maybe there wasn't trust before.
So how can we help? I mean, obviously volunteer powered, so that's a big piece of this. Being able to underwrite cost is a piece of this as well, to do what you do, even the technology for the vision care and the screenings. How can the public help?
Absolutely. Well, I think you just named, you know, two of the biggest ones. So one, volunteering is so crucial. If you're interested in volunteering, please do go to our website, www.impactamerica.com, and let us know. Both for our vision screenings as well as for our tax sites, we really need manpower in order to make this work so that we can serve as many people as possible. Of course, fundraising is also a big element. We know that the average spot camera will cost about $7,000, so really making sure that we're able to stay on track there so that we can provide these services. And then I would say lastly, if you're, you know, really passionate about this organization and want to give, you know, a year of your life in service, consider applying to be one of our AmeriCorps members to work with us throughout the year and really dive deeper.
Talk about just social media, website again. What are the connection points to learn more and to follow the conversations?
Absolutely. So our website, one more time, is www.impactamerica.com. And you can also find us on Facebook under Impact America.
Well, I greatly appreciate all you're doing, not only here in the Mid-South, but in all these other cities around our nation, and appreciate you coming on the show and sharing, so thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
We'll start with three simple words: hugs, hope, and help. We're here with the Executive Director and the Development Director for Harwood Center, Claire Moss and Meredith Taylor. And so let's start with a little bit of context. Harwood Center, give us some history, but most importantly, give us the mission.
Well, our mission is to enable children with special needs to reach their full potential. This year we celebrate 60 years, so we have a long, rich history at Harwood Center. We're a special ed preschool for kids with developmental disabilities, and we offer pre-K services, kindergarten readiness services, and behavior therapy.
Talk about the different locations.
Well, we're in two different locations on the opposite end of Memphis. So for the Midtown downtown area, we're in the medical district inside UT Bowling Center, and then out in Cordova, we're at Hope Presbyterian Church.
And on your end, one of the things that makes you very unique is the specialized attention, the trained staff, expert staff. Describe some of the dynamics between small classroom sizes, the trained specialists.
Well, the classroom sizes are very small. We have 3 staff to 8 children in every room, and that is for our pre-K services. And for our therapy services, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So those kids are getting very individualized care all day long while in our program.
Give us an idea of some of the different types of children and their disabilities, the development disabilities that you guys work with.
Sure. So we serve children 18 months through 6 with all disabilities. We have children with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism, any type of developmental delay. They can come to Harwood for services.
And I know that you have tons of success stories, and we've been able to see even on our end, you guys were a recent charity spotlight with City Current, and just to hear from the parents of just how amazing the transformation has been with their children.
Well, often kids come to Harwood age 2 and they're nonverbal. They have no language. They can't communicate with their families. They can't even ask for juice or let their mom know they're hurting. So by the time they leave, most of the kids can speak, they can communicate, and often go off to mainstream education.
Talk about, from your perspective, Meredith, on the engagement side. I think there's a lot of things, whether it's special events, there's different opportunities for the public to see the good that Harwood Center is doing, but also to be a part of it. So what are some ways that we can help?
Absolutely. So we consistently have, corporate volunteers that come in, individual volunteers that volunteer in our classrooms, whether it's reading to the children or doing arts and crafts. We also have a multitude of events throughout the year, such as our 5K or our golf tournament, where volunteers can come out or they can participate.
Give us an idea of just scope. How many children, how many volunteers do you need? I mean, give us some numbers that stand out for Harwood Center.
So how many children we serve?
How many serve, and then how many volunteers do you need to serve those kids?
So consistently we have about 75 children at one time throughout the year. It does fluctuate, but there's always a waiting list of children. In terms of volunteers, it can range. Definitely during the spring is our biggest time when we need volunteers, just for our 5K and our golf tournament. But then throughout the school year, I would say, we have corporate volunteers that come in 10 to 15 people at a time. So,
nice.
Yes.
And the way you're structured, obviously, fundraising is a big piece of this, to be able to do what you do at a lower cost than what you would charge, because obviously the cost that it takes versus the cost you charge, very different. Describe that side, the fundraising, but as it relates to really the cost structure that you can charge and work with.
It costs Harwood $18,000 to serve one child in our special ed program. And with community support through United Way and other foundations, we're able to offset that cost. Families pay a fraction of that. In our therapy program, it costs about $30,000 a year for one kid. And that is what it costs for the school system as well. So by getting these kids early on, we're setting them up to be more successful when they go on to kindergarten, which then reduces costs to the community.
And talk about the therapy side, because this is it's obviously even more intensive, but what you're doing, the ability is pretty phenomenal. So talk about that side a little more.
It is. So children with autism and also kids who have significant behavior challenges, it's recommended they get 20 to 40 hours of therapy a week. And when I say therapy, I mean applied behavioral analysis. And it's an individualized, very structured therapy where they're teaching children functional skills. It's one-on-one, and they're teaching them basic skills in order for them to learn.
What you're doing impacts not only the child and the family, it impacts the Mid-South as a whole.
It does. It lowers the economic burden because special education is extremely expensive, and through taxes, we're lowering the cost to the community by setting these kids up to either mainstream or have reduced long life services that are needed.
Talk about technology too, because I think you're able to use the iPads technology. How does technology play a role in Harwood Center?
It plays a huge role, and I remember when I first started there, we weren't using as much technology. iPads came out about 7 or 8 years ago, and we were seeing kids that were nonverbal, but did have the communication, just couldn't actually express it. And so using the iPads, they were able to key in certain numbers or use certain programs and actually obtain language through that, which then encourages verbal language. So
nice.
We've seen a lot of success with the iPads.
Going back to you, Meredith, on your end, for those that want to be involved, that want to either take a tour, get involved with volunteerism, special events, how can they learn more? What are the connection points to Harwood Center?
Absolutely. So they can always reach out to me at meredith.taylor@harwoodcenter.org, or they can visit our website, www.harwoodcenter.org, or they can always go on our Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter. We're always updating things on there. That's also Harwood Center.
And I started off with Hugs, Hope, and Help. What does that mean to Harwood Center? Wrap it all up with because I think these 3 words are something that are very powerful, but when I'm saying it, what does that mean to Harwood Center?
Well, we're a very warm environment, and when families approach us with their children, they've just found out that their child has been diagnosed with a disability. And so we're there to give them a hug, and then through our help, they have hope.
Perfect. Well, I greatly appreciate all you guys do in the Mid-South and for coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank
you, Jeremy.
The Spark Awards annually recognize and celebrate individuals and organizations that have made outstanding contributions to the community. This year, the Education School Award was received by Grahamwood Elementary, a public school with an exemplary sense of mission.
Grahamwood Elementary School is a school that has around 1,000 children. We serve our neighborhood kids and kids who are outside of our neighborhood. We serve kids who are in Cordova, Lakeland. We have kids coming from Millington to our location, which is on 3950 Summer Avenue. So it makes it a big melting pot of different types of students, socioeconomic, gender, ethnic, religious. It's a big, again, as I said, it's a big melting pot of students, and that's what makes this school such a great school. The teachers have to understand that the students come from different backgrounds, so they have to meet the needs of all the kids and make sure that we all understand the differences and celebrate those differences. We will have, as today we had a taste test around the world. So we had a 5th grade class who was tasting foods from India, from Mexico, from Czechoslovakia. We had a lot of dancing going on. So we have to have the teachers be open enough to say, hey, we're going to celebrate the differences in all of our kids because it is something we should be celebrating because we're all different. And that's, again, that's what makes this place so great because it is, again, a melting pot. I keep saying that word, but if we hesitate or if we don't celebrate our differences, then we're missing a big chance to learn from each other.
Talk about both from a special needs standpoint, but also a clue. You cover a wide spectrum there as well, even early on with pre-K.
Correct. We have around, school-wide, we have around over 300 CLUE gifted kids. But what's great or spotlight about our school is we have a special needs pre-K class. And we also have a pre-K class for the gifted students. So we're able to serve the needs of all the students that come to us, no matter what age. And so we, from our pre-K CLUE gifted class, we get students from all over the city. And from our pre-K special needs class, we get kids from all over the city. I had a visitor yesterday and they were blown away with how our teachers interact with the kids and how the kids interact with the teachers. It's a positive culture. We celebrate each other's success. We want to know that, hey, we're all different, but we're fine with that. That's the good thing. That's about this place. When we look at each other, we don't see the same type people that we are. We see differences. So we want to celebrate that. So that's the culture of our school, is that it's warm and inviting, but we're also about the task of learning because we want our kids to be successful.
They're a Memphis-based video production company helping us capture and promote and share our stories. I'm here with a partner for V2 Media, Mark Thompson. And let's start V2 Media overall. Give us a little bit of history, but more importantly, some of the things that you do with V2 Media.
Well, we started in 1990 as a marketing service firm. We focus now on video, web video, and how we can access new ways of communication. The web, how can we help clients tell their stories through web video?
And your background is journalism, so that's a big key of this, is when you talk about knowing, one of the things that you run into a lot is the companies have a good story to tell, but they don't necessarily know how to tell that story. So on your end, being able to step in, with the journalism side, but also the video production side, coming in saying, hey, let us help you refine that story and make sure that we're getting the message out that emotionally connects.
We like to take the approach of letting them tell the story. So it's really a matter of questioning on the front end, finding out what is the message we want to create for your end viewer. So what's the engagement, what's the impact that we're looking for?
Talk about, when you talk about being able to handle everything from small storytelling to huge events and everything in between, talk about kind of what's needed to be able to lay in place on the technology side for V2 Media.
Well, the first thing is a great team. We've got a great team. We understand what it takes from an IT perspective to make those things work on site, and always test.
That's good advice.
Always test the day before or earlier. So we've got everything in-house that's needed to make either that live streaming event happen. We do a lot of editing. Just this past week, we edited on site for a client while we're shooting during the day. We're running a highlight piece at night. So it's just having understanding of the workflow and what the client needs and wants on site.
Talk about storytelling. I think this is, obviously it's what you do, but for companies, executive directors, what bit of advice would you give them for those that, have never done media, but they say, I want to get my story out? Obviously that's what you do, is help them share those stories, but what bit of advice would you give them to just kind of help refine their story?
Well, it really is just a conversation. Don't overthink it. Just think about the way that you would speak to anyone about what that message is. And so that's why we try to present it with a client. We're going to keep this simple. We're going to tell your story in a way that is engaging, and with some of the City Current charity pieces we've worked with, it's very emotional. So we just want to create that impact, if you will, on all of those social media videos that we do.
And actually, the Charity Spotlight's a great pivot point to the philanthropy for you guys. On our end, you go out and you share and you put together a package. It's about a 3.5-minute video, and we show it at the Signature Breakfast, but we put it out all online. But to your point, you go in and you do a deep dive, and you get to know these nonprofits. You help them share their stories, and then we help share it with the world. But talk about, working with nonprofits and that side philanthropically of V2 Media, of just what that means to you personally to be able to come alongside these nonprofits and help them share their stories, which in many cases is, all of them are looking for awareness. They need help to raise the mission, the awareness of the mission. So what does that mean for you?
Well, in 2016, those pieces were some of the highlights of our year. Just being able to work with Melissa Todd at Best Buddies, working with the folks at Harwood, working with people that we didn't know and hadn't engaged with that are just doing such incredible work in the community. So helping them tell their story was an incredible journey for us, has been. And it really gets us in touch with the mission of City Current, which is to outreach in the community. And one word would just be wow with some of those pieces. Nice. And some of what we learned about I mentioned Best Buddies. I was not aware of that program. We don't have children that age, and just what a great program to outreach to disabled children.
And so on your end, you get to know them intimately. You get to know their stories. You help promote their stories. Talk about, what's next. I mean, we're obviously, pretty heavy into 2017 at this point, but when you look at working with nonprofits, working with businesses, working with huge events, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to and beyond in terms of growing V2 Media?
Well, we certainly are open to more philanthropic work. We want to keep engaging in that community through City Current and any other opportunities. I know a lot of times there are budget considerations, but if there's a chance for us to help, then we will absolutely do that. It's always worth a conversation. From the corporate perspective, we have seen a tremendous amount of growth in a couple of our corporate segments. We just finished up a set of 140 plus videos in 7 languages that'll be seen internationally. So there's some it's just an exciting time to be in video and communications.
Well, in your world, technology, with the equipment, with the editing, but also too, even 3D renderings now, all sorts of crazy stuff. Talk a little about just, how technology is rapidly shaping what you're doing.
Well, it used to be if you didn't show up with a big camera, you weren't taken seriously. So the gear is lighter, it's smaller. We just bought an incredible 360 video rig, which again, not so long ago you'd need something this big, and now it's like this, and it helps you tell a story. And those are the kind of things we look for. What's going to help bring that engagement level up with that client story?
So how can we learn more about V2 Media? How can we reach out? How can we start that conversation?
Our website is www.v2memphis.com. Always welcome to an email. It's mark@v2memphis.com or our main line.
Well, absolutely love everything you're doing, V2 Media. Greatly appreciate all your help with the Charity Spotlight. Even this year when you look at Harwood Center, Impact America Tennessee, both the show segments, I mean, you did the Charity Spotlight. So when you look at the B-roll footage and even this episode, you played a vital role in that. So greatly appreciate all you doing for coming on the show and sharing it.
And I greatly appreciate everything that City Current's doing.
So much of life and communicating, connecting with people revolves around stories. We share the stories of our day with family and friends, stories of heartache or failure to console or pass along advice, stories of triumph or excitement to inspire others into action. This show, media, social media, it's all about sharing stories. And the beautiful part about living in our city is we have so many stories of success to share. Organizations like Impact America Tennessee are providing free vision screening and follow-up care to thousands of children in low-income neighborhoods, and then helping their families with free tax preparation services to save them money so they can put food on the table. Harwood Center is providing hugs, hope, and help. They're changing the lives of kids with special needs and giving them the opportunity to thrive and succeed. And companies like V2 Media are there to capture these stories and to help them share them with all of us so we can be inspired and join together in becoming an even greater force for good. Thank you for watching The Spark and for being a champion in our community. To learn more about each of the guests and to share your stories of others leading by example, visit WKNO.org and click on the link for The Spark. We look forward to seeing you next month, and we hope that you'll join us in creating a spark for the Mid-South.
Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of The Spark.
Since 1964, Memphis Theological Seminary has worked to equip men and women of all races and faiths with the spark to do ministry for the real world. We're grateful to serve our community and proud to support WKNO.
Lipscomb and Pitts Insurance has been serving the Mid-South since 1954. We've always focused on supporting our community and believed in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb and Pitts is proud to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.